Good day and welcome to today's NAIA SIDA Capital One Teachable Tuesday webinar. We are pleased to offer this session on wellness and mental health while managing the spring season. We are preparing this as an on-demand webinar and are appreciative that you are joining us either via COSIDA's YouTube channel or in a podcast. For today, please welcome our presenters. We have Jay Stansel, Amy Canfield, and Jeremy Rosenthal. I am David Gibson and will serve as the webinar moderator. We appreciate you joining us today, as we have said. Before we begin, we would like to say a quick thank you to our corporate sponsor, however, Capital One, presenting sponsor COSIDA's Professional Development and Continuing Education Series. This webinar obviously will be about mental health and wellness throughout this upcoming season. We will start kind of in a roundtable order about what each is important to each of our presenters or each of our panelists, and then we will kind of get into some common discussions and maybe even some extras that they want to add on throughout the rest of this webinar. So we'd like to thank Amy, Jeremy, and Jay for joining us in this informative session, and a big thanks to our presenters for their discussions and insights. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first, I want to kind of go around, talk to each of the three of you just about why this is so important to you, why being just an SID and being kind of having the mental soundness and mental maturity, and maybe even some wellness things that you find incredibly important especially as we start staring down what some people have as a very, very, very tough schedule. So Amy, let's start with you on your remarks, and then we'll move to Jay and then Jeremy.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I think I'm in one of the rare situations. I'm at a D3 institution that has not had sports since last March. We possibly, we're waiting on a decision on our spring sports, but right now we have been shut down since basically March 16th of last year. So with that, one of the things that I think one of the biggest talking points and something I'm most comfortable sharing is that I suffer from high anxiety. So when we went into lockdown and we were stuck in our homes and not able to go anywhere, and I can tell you it was scary to go to the grocery store with high anxiety. It was scary just to live life and to see the news and to be away from your friends and your family and your coworkers and even the student athletes that you're so used to working with all the time. So for me, the anxiety was crippling, truly crippling to start the pandemic. I think that's one of the things that gets lost on all of us is you don't really realize that you have anxiety until something like this brings it out in you. So for me, this was probably one of the biggest challenges that I've ever faced. Anxiety on top of weight. So at the start of the pandemic, I found comfort in food too. So, and I think a lot of us can agree with that. We can all agree that sometimes you just find comfort in food. So for me, it was the anxiety coupled with eating a lot and literally realizing that I had gotten to a point where I was the heaviest I'd ever been in my life. I could barely walk up and down stairs without feeling like I was going to collapse. So let me tell you, it's been an interesting year since last March. It really has, and I look forward to to talking more about that as we go on. But I'll hand it off to my other co-presenters now.
As for me, during this time, being active and getting and maintaining an active lifestyle, as far as being fit and all, was very vital for my mental health. It like Amy alluded to, just like it was just when we went into lockdown and you're pretty much home by yourself, and then you turn on the TV and the news and it's just all depressing, and then you don't know what's going to happen with your work or with your school or everything, and sports and whatnot. And my anxiety went through the roof. I needed to get outside. I needed to run, and it ended up to where I pretty much started running every day, and running or walking walking every day, and I've been a runner for over 10 years now, but I needed it even more then, just for my mental health and my mental wellness. I've always found running great to deal with the stressors and everything within our profession, within our job, which we'll talk more about later. But for me, I cannot stress the importance of just being active. I mean, yes, I'm a runner, but any kind of activity, just something physical, just to get some extra activity to help get your adrenaline going, get those endorphins going, to help relieve some of that stress and that anxiety. It help say, hey, everything's not all bad and everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, I think kind of going off of what Jay was just saying, I think there's a connection between mental health and physical health. And I think the benefits you get from being physically active transfer into your mental health. I mean, I try and start my day with a run or some kind of exercise, and I feel like that just makes me feel better for the rest of the day. And I can tell kind of mentally when I do exercise and when I don't. You know, I'm just in a better place mentally. I'm happier. I'm more productive. So I think there's some definite, ties to that. As I was thinking about it today, I kind of outlined kind of 3 points that I thought were kind of important in this space for kind of, wherever you are. And one I think is set goals. And I think it doesn't matter, how big or small those goals are. It could be, you want to exercise an hour a day. It could be you want to, walk, 10 minutes a day. That's personal to you. And I think, just because somebody else is doing a lot more, you got to do what's good for you and what is manageable for you. But I do think it's important to kind of put something down on paper or in your mind. Maybe it's a 5K run or walk that you want to progress towards, some kind of goal to where, you're going to have a purpose for getting out and doing something. The second thing I had was be consistent, but be flexible. So I think it's important to consistently, do something. So if you want to walk every day, walk every day, don't just walk, once or twice a week and say, I'm going to take the rest of, the week off. Try and be consistent about doing it, but also be flexible and realize that, we have busy schedules. And maybe you can't always walk at the same time every day, but you can look at your schedule and say, maybe I can do it the morning one day, but then another day I have something in the morning or I had a late event, and just plan out to where what works in your schedule. And then the last thing is, and I think we'll talk more about, is find support, find accountability. It's so much more fun and so much more motivating when you're doing it, with people. And it doesn't have to be, in person. Obviously, we're not able to be in person with people as much, but maybe you've got a few friends that you can get on Zoom and you can all, be doing a workout together. Or maybe you can call up your friend and be like, I'm going on a 30-minute walk, want to get on the phone and we can talk with each other while we go out on a nice day and walk. So I think, those are kind of my 3 things: set goals, be consistent, be flexible, and find a support system.
Well, I can't wait to get into this with each and every single one of you. But Jeremy, I kind of want to come back to you, and I love what you say about the setting the goals, and especially, I mean, heck, we can get into accountability even now, because a great way to do that is the SIDA Fitness Challenge, and I think Barb called you the commissioner of that. So why why don't you kind of go ahead, just kind of tell the kind of camaraderie that you get. I mean, sometimes you get on a team, there's also different little challenges as far as nutrition and things like that are concerned too. So again, if this is something that people are interested in and people kind of do in the back of their mind are thinking, you know, a great place to start on my well-being might be just moving your body. This is a great way to do it, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's something that you know, I'm really passionate about, and it's been really cool to just see how this has kind of taken off and grown. And you know, I think more than anything, it's that kind of third piece that I talked about with the finding, you know, that support system. I mean, this group has been amazing just to see. You know, you've got the Facebook page there, which has grown to over 300 people on that Facebook group, and you know, people are, you know, posting, you know, pictures. You know, Amy is posting a picture of what she is doing, and everybody's getting on there and being like, "Great job, Amy." And so I think having that support is really cool. I just pulled one of the Facebook posts that from our previous challenge, and somebody said, you know, gotta say, in all seriousness, no matter what the results, it's been so great to be part of this community and have such amazing support. Proud of everybody, no matter how many minutes logged, just being willing to make a change and put in the work. So again, you know, to anybody that's nervous maybe about joining something like this, you know, we've really tried to make it, you know, inclusive of everybody, and it doesn't matter kind of what level you're at. I think it's a great kind of way to find that support, and even outside of the exercise component, I think, you know, this kind of started back when the pandemic started, and for some people it was just cool to be able to engage with other people and even like network with each other and meet other SIDs. I think that was a really cool component to it. So check it out. Like it says here, we're starting up another one. It's going to be 5 weeks, and kind of each week kind of has a theme week. So this is not just exercise based. There's components of mental health. There's components of nutrition. There's components of volunteerism. There's a lot of different aspects to it. So check it out. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Happy to answer anything about it. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to kind of move over to Jay here a little bit. You're obviously the SIDA union, as well as you're the AAC SID. So there's quite a lot going on. I'm sure everybody here has got a lot of schedules that are kind of getting a little bit tight as we kind of move through the spring season. So Jay, how do you kind of balance that? Maybe find the flexibility portion of what Jeremy was talking about, and kind of incorporating that into your schedule while also maintaining goals outside of work.
I'm sorry, both of, to be honest, it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of, I mean, it's not easy being a school SID or a conference SID, and to alone, but to be both, it takes a lot of planning. There's, and what I'm facing this spring is unlike anything I've that any of us has ever seen, because I think especially beginning this month of February, provided everything happens, it's going to be mayhem, because we're going to have, with my school and with my conference, we're going to have our conference basketball tournaments at the end of February. Then we'll turn around and have our women's volleyball conference tournament in March. And because of scheduling and everything, it has to be in the middle of the week. It has to be a Wednesday, Thursday, because that's the only time the venue's available. Then 1st of April, we've got our men's and women's soccer tournaments. Then we've got softball tournament at the end of April, and the 1st of May, we've got baseball, and somewhere thrown in there, we've got the tennis tournaments, and I just happen to forget that at the end of this week, we'll have our swimming championships, followed by the following week, our indoor track championships. And then, of course, I mean, it's just right now we're getting ready to start these dominoes of championship, like we've never seen before. And trying to manage everything between union and with the AAC is daunting. But honestly, I need my time to run. I need that time for myself. That is my time, and that is the time I need to just to escape. It sounds weird that with all these crazy schedules that I try to carve out an hour or two each day for myself to go run. But because I get to take that time for myself, I'm able to clear my head, think things through. I'm actually able to some of my best ideas for work have come during a run. You're just thinking, you're like, oh yeah, that would work, because your mind's free, you're just out, and it just happens. And I need that time to focus on myself, because that makes me a better person, helps me think clearer, and helps me actually perform better on my jobs. And running is not necessarily easy. And especially when you're training for some of the races that I've done. I've done 6 marathons before. I've done a couple of 50Ks, and right now I'm in the middle of training for a 50-mile race. It's those mental battles that you face to try to push yourself to go through that really helps me to overcome these challenges that I face on the job. That's like this week. We've got baseball, softball, and football all starting. Oh, meanwhile, we're in the middle of a nice long home stretch also with basketball. So we're just like, how are we going to handle these things? You have to sit down and just figure it out. And I'll just take the time, and it's a juggle. It's not easy, and you just have to take these battles. And it's nothing like being able to think things through and have that clear mind to tackle, to be able to do that. And that's what my fitness journey does for me. That time, just like, okay, I got it. I've conquered this. This won't be so tough. This won't be as hard. And again, and if you're fit and healthy, mentally and physically, then that makes the job that much easier. You don't get as tired on those long days. You don't wear out as fast. You can think more clearly when everything hits the fan at once.
That's fair. I think no matter what it is, whether it be exercising or whether it be any hobbies or anything like that, my brother, he's got his Brazilian jiu-jitsu that he does. For me, I also do a lot of running. That's my arena. That's my time to kind of be by myself, as Jay said, and I do battle with myself and my thoughts, because I don't listen to any music, and I stay there within myself. And he's absolutely right. Clears my mind. I mean, do whatever works best for you. But I think what is most important here is the courage to start. And Amy, I've been there before, and a lot of other people have been there before, to where even going out to eat for me was scary. So talk about just starting a journey, and maybe even those stumbling blocks that you might hit along the way, because we're all bound to hit them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say, in all due respect to you guys as runners, this lady is not a runner. I was a softball catcher, and I no longer have the knees to like hit any kind of pavement or a treadmill. So props to you guys. But you know what? Here's the big thing. It's okay to not be a runner. It's okay. It's okay to just be a walker. It's okay to just do exercise. You got to be, first of all, you got to be comfortable. And, as Jeremy says, you got to be flexible. You got to give yourself grace and allow your body to do what it can actually do. For me, David, the journey was really tough. When I realized that I was at the heaviest that I had ever been at, I was at about 275. I'm really not shy on saying that. Most people would be like, that's, you didn't even look it. Well, guess what? I felt it. I felt it in every fiber of my being. I didn't sleep well at night. I was tired all the time during the day. I started taking naps. Most people can do that anyways, but that was not me. And it was a wake-up call. So what I did was I actually started slow, very slow. I went out for walks, and if I could get to a mile, that was great. That was the catalyst. That was what helped it. And I tried to start watching what I ate. And I didn't, but the problem was I really didn't have guidance. And for me, what really made a difference is what Jeremy already alluded to, is that support. I was in a conversation on SIDA Fitness. And we started talking, and I had seen an ad on TV, of all places, for Beachbody on demand. Most people are like, really? That's how you started? Yeah, it really was. And, when I started with Beachbody, I just signed up for like a 6-month thing. I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll find something that works for me. Well, I happened to mention it and see something in CoSIDA Fit, and I got connected to Amanda Radke at University of North Florida, and Chelsea Chamberlain at LSU, and Sammy Wellman. And our little group just started to grow and grow and grow. So I've created some of the best friends I could have ever imagined. And we don't see each other. We see each other on Zoom. We see each other on text messages, and whenever we can, and we get together and we chat. But that's my accountability. That's my support network. And that's what gave me the courage to do this. I had lost weight before in the past. I lost about 60 pounds, probably 11 years ago at my previous job, gained it all back and then some. And it's hard, and it's scary, and it's even more scary to do it in a pandemic when you're afraid to take a step outside and go to the grocery store. Even going on a walk scared me, because even though I wasn't around other people, you have a virus that you can't see and you don't know what's going on. Anxiety it's crippling. It was crippling for me. And what this has done for me it's not just transformed my body. Mental health wise, having this support network has literally given me an outlet for every little thing that could be out there. Having these people that are there to not just support, but to be able to talk through things that are going on. I don't have as crazy of a spring or a year as Jeremy and Jay do. As I said, my sports have been shut down since March. And I don't know for certain if they are going to come back. But I have those same stressors. People still want things from me. I still have projects that need to get done. So having that system, having that network of people that are there for me no matter what, that's the biggest thing that I could have ever imagined out of this. Especially my family is 5 hours away. And I haven't been able to, thankfully, I've been able to see them twice. Once in the summer, and then this past holidays, I was able to see them. But that's a lot of time on your own. And when you have friends that are spread out across the country, building that network, whether it's through Beachbody, which I've built an even bigger network of people through Beachbody, whether it's CoSIDA Fit, just being involved and being able to connect with these people, you just don't know how much you have in common with them until you start talking. And that's the biggest thing. So I know it's scary and I know it takes a lot, but CoSIDA Fit, that was like, Jeremy can tell you, I kind of hesitantly put a foot in the water on that one and then just ran with it, because I had that support group. I had my team that I was a part of. So that was the big thing. But then within that team, you know, my first time around, one of my Beachbody coaches was actually my Amanda. She was my coach. She was my team leader in the CoSIDA Fit Challenge. You know, and the second time around, Jeremy was my leader. So you have this support system no matter what you do. The biggest thing is finding the courage to put your foot out there and say, I'm going to step into it and I'm going to make a change, and realizing that no matter what, you're going to have people around to support you, no matter if there's good or if there's bad. And I can tell you, I've had enough bad. I've had times where I'm pushing myself to the limit and I'm not seeing results. But 73 pounds later, which is what I've lost in weight since June of 2020, you can do it. You really can. You can do it. And having the support system is what makes it all worth it.
As Amy said, you don't have to be a runner. You could be a weightlifter. You could be a walker. You could be a Beachbody fit person, whatever it is. I'm a big reader, personally, outside of all the movement that I do. And I think that one thing that applies to what you said, Amy, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think a few people have read it. It is a pretty popular read, but he talks about just moving the needle a little bit. I think there was an example in his book about somebody who wanted to lose weight, wanted to get fit, wanted to get strong, and just couldn't stick to any regimen that he had. So he mastered the art of showing up every day, much like you all have, and much like many people are attempting to do, much like many people have in this industry. So what the guy did was he got a gym membership. He would walk in the door on the first day, turn right back around. And he did that for about a week. But and some people are thinking like, well, that's not much progress, but that is in the mind. What that does is it allows him to show up, gets his body used to getting up, getting used to making the drive, and getting used to walking through the door. And that was just the first step of doing that. And since then, that guy had lost X number of pounds. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but that's one thing that popped in my mind. I want to talk a little bit about the accountability with yourself, and maybe even just kind of working through the mental maze that we all are going through. I know that I've got my notes up here to my left, and I can see the number of sports everybody's got, ranging from Power 5 to D3 to NAIA and being a conference SID. So, Jay, I kind of want to bounce back to you here a little bit. How do you kind of keep yourself sane, maybe even not even just running, or maybe even keeping yourself well with meals or anything like that outside of this?
Well, as far as like with meals, you have to think things through and have a plan and be conscious about it. Because we all know within our profession and stuff, it's very easy just to grab what's convenient. And let's be honest, the majority of what's convenient is not healthy. Whether it's fast food or whatnot, it's not the best for you. So I intentionally make sure I have some snacks around, some healthy snacks. For example, I've got a banana, I've got some oranges or raisins down in my desk. I usually have like a Lara bar or something like that that will help, because we have those long days. For example, yesterday I had a 12-hour work day because we had a normal day and then we had doubleheader basketball, so it was a full 12-hour work day. I'm going to have a couple of those. I think 3 more of those this week. So so you have to have that. I also make sure I have I bring healthy lunches, or if I'm going to go out and grab a meal, I'm going to get something that's a little more healthier or whatever. I'll go and get the grilled chicken salad instead of the burger and fries or something like that. I also in addition to my other staff, I keep PB&J in the office. It's a good, for me, it's a good snack, a little quick lunch or whatever. And you have to make these conscious decisions before. Another thing that I did personally was I cut out all sodas, all pops. I did that about 10 years ago, which was kind of amazing because at the time I was drinking probably about 3 or 4 Diet Mountain Dews a day. So yeah. So, but I replaced that with even more coffee. So it's coffee and water for me. So I mean, taking that, and then what was amazing was when I took out that soda, even though I was drinking diet, within the first month or two, I dropped an additional 10 pounds. And that's the only thing I changed was the taking out the carbonated drinks like that. It was rather, you don't realize it, even if it's a diet, it's still not necessarily the healthiest for you. So, but again, it just goes back to you have to make a plan. You can't just kind of wing it, because let's be honest, when you're winging it, you're in a rush, especially within our profession, you're just like, well, I just got this done, but I've only got about 30 minutes to go get something. You're more likely to run through McDonald's or something like that instead of maybe getting a little bit healthier option going to Subway, because it takes a little longer to get a sub sandwich. But again, it comes down to planning. It's nothing but planning.
Living intently too. Jeremy, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think this spring is going to be, crazy for a lot of people, and I would say, don't use the excuse that, you're too busy to be fit and to be consider nutrition, to exercise. I think it's too important and it's too beneficial to neglect that. And hopefully you're in a position. Hopefully we're in a position where we have some, flexibility. I mean, I'm fortunate that the setup for me and our office, my supervisors are supportive. They don't hold us to an extremely strict time schedule. So I don't need to be in the office 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I can wake up and do some exercise, get into the office, whether it's 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're you know what you need to do to complete the tasks that you need to complete. And like Jay said, it's a matter of planning. And if you can look at your schedule and be like, these are the times I know I have events or things I have to do, surely there's 10, 20, 30 minutes to get up and go for a walk. So I think it's important to just not neglect that, and to not use the excuse that I'm too busy to exercise or plan a nutritious meal. I think we're all pretty good at time management because we have to be, because our lives are kind of crazy. But use that time management and put in that exercise as part of your schedule, and I think you'll see enormous benefits from it. And I too love a PB&J sandwich.
Awesome, guys. Real quick, I just want to ask each of you just kind of a kind of rapid fire here. We are all going through the same things, and we are all kind of, well, with the pandemic and everything, everybody's got a different scheduling situation, things like that. But kind of wanted to talk to you guys about COSIDA coffee shops. I have partaken in a couple of them. And I wanted to kind of ask you guys, how could these help SIDs take a little time away from their work to talk to people just like you who are kind of going through the same thing? So maybe that kind of rounds back to the accountability thing here for everybody. How important is it to kind of get involved with these? It might not even have to be COSIDA coffee shops, although those do help. And we'll start with you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think the response has been great. I get on there and sometimes they're filled up by the time that I want to sign up. So I think they've been great, and I think people have found real support from them. So I think the plan is to continue them, and so would encourage people to sign up. Yeah, I mean, again, I just think that just connecting with people is so important, and in a time where we can feel withdrawn from people, any time that you can have that time to connect with people is great, and I think that's what the coffee shops offer.
Jay, we'll go to you.
Well, what I found is in through these coffee shops is that it's great connecting to people who are going through the same thing you are. There's I don't know, there's sometimes comfort in misery. We're all in this place together, but because of the pandemic, we're all kind of separated from one another. But you you connect with other people and find, hey, they're going through the same things I am, and you're like, for one, that makes you feel better. Hey, I'm not alone. Then you get in the conversations of like, well, how are you dealing with this situation, or what are you doing, or here's how I'm coping, and you create these great bonds. And through these coffee shops, I've been able to connect with many more other SIDs throughout, and I mean, it's been great, and I've become good friends that way, and it's been like I said, it's another mental health boost to be able to talk and communicate and connect with other persons who are in the same situation that you are in, or in similar situation, and seeing how they are handling everything. So for me, it's been a bonus, and I highly recommend getting involved in that.
Yeah, I think what's really great is that there are a lot of more structured coffee shops as well on different topics. But for me, the benefit of the coffee shops have been knowing that you're not alone. There's somebody out there in our profession that's going through the exact same thing that you are going through. Somebody has it just as tough or just as hard and doesn't know how to get through things. And this is a chance to be able to speak freely in a small group, a group of people that understand what you're going through. They might not be going through it right then, but at some point in their careers or at some point in their lives, they've been going through it. So being able to have that support is huge. And the coffee shops really does help you through that. One thing I do want to double back on, because with the snacks and you're talking about the food prep, I didn't get to chime in on that one.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. But I just wanted to let folks know, just taking one step to make a change, sometimes that makes all the difference in the world. So like Jay said, cutting out soda. I mean, I drink almost a gallon of water a day. That's just what I do, because I'm not really big on other drinks now. Like almond milk and chocolate milk is about as far as I get beyond water. But just making one small change to your routine, you'd be surprised at how big of a difference it can make. Don't let, somebody telling you that you need to eat salads all the time, or that you should only eat chicken and not red meat, or believe me, I've lost 73 pounds, but I haven't lost it by not eating chocolate, and I haven't lost it by not indulging in things. I've lost it by being smart and putting in the work and listening to my body and giving myself grace and giving myself acceptance, lenience, patience, all of those different things. So You know, and that's another thing. I think coffee shops, CoSIDA Fit, these are the things that are going to help you on that journey, no matter where you are in that journey, whether you are looking to build muscle, whether you want to lose fat, whether you want to gain better mental health, you want to gain more friends. It doesn't matter. You're going to find it in this community. You are going to find it. And so, you know, reach out and get involved, and you'll be surprised at how big of a difference it's going to make for you.
So I'm hearing a lot of during this call that we've had here is be smart, be intentful, or intentful is that a word? Have intent, and just move your body, move anything that makes you happy, hobbies, reading, whatever it is, man. Can't wait to see what you all do. So does anybody have any final remarks before we kind of wind this thing down?
Well, I just would like to, just a couple things. Talking about the moving in your body. That's like in my household right now, it's just my wife and my daughter now, since my son's moved off to college and stuff. And we all three stay fairly active, but we're all pretty much fairly different. I'm the hardcore runner and stuff. That's my thing. I enjoy to go run. I really don't care to do the ab workouts or the weightlifting or anything like that. And I had my son, he's into big and weightlifting, so he's working in that. So that's his thing. My wife, she hates to run. She's miserable. She hates it. Now we'll go on long walks together. She'll use the elliptical. She'll do some ab and core workouts with my daughter. My daughter, she does a little bit of everything. She plays soccer, so she does run. She runs with me, and she also has her other core and other workout routines to keep her active and stuff and fit. And so during this pandemic, in the last year, we never thought she was heavy or overweight or anything, but she's lost 60 pounds. And we're just like, we're stunned. Just because she's been active. And adding the other thing I want to add to about the diet, don't feel like you have to neglect or leave out something, or you can't have something, the diet, because you eat it like a piece of cake. Yeah, I can't have it because it's like, you can have cake. Trust me, I've had plenty of cake during my weight loss journey. Again, it's being smart. You can have some, just don't go overboard. Don't beat yourself up, because to be honest, that beating yourself up mentally is worse than eating the cake. Saying, because and find it, but you can. There's no food you should really. Obviously, people's diets and makeups and all stuff different that they can't have food because of allergies and whatnot. But by and large, there's really no food that you have to neglect and that you can't enjoy or have within reason. It's everything within reason. But just again, like you said, just be smart, plan, and work things out. And again, going back to having a plan, another thing that's really helped us and my family is my wife and I. We sit down every Sunday and map out what our dinner's going to be and when I'm going to be home. Like, unfortunately, this week the only day I'm home for dinner it was Monday. So, and by doing that, that helps further the planning of what to eat and what we're going to have.
I think one other thing that's really important as well, just the last thing that I'll say is, don't feel like you need to be in a gym to get a workout in. I've been doing all of this. My journey has all been within my home or at my parents' house. Yes, I would go out for walks, which I still do, but everything that I've done, it's all been weights and it's been cardio and it's all been in my home. So don't be afraid to take that leap. And, obviously, if anybody wants to reach out, to me after hearing this, and once more, as I'm sure Jeremy and Jay will say as well, please don't hesitate to reach out, because I'm happy to share my journey.
Anything to add, Jeremy?
Not really. I think they summed it up pretty well. I think we've got COSIDA is just a great, supportive, network. That's kind of one of my biggest, takeaways and points of pride with our organization, is just how much we support and help each other. Yep,
absolutely not alone. So, yeah, like they said, I'm sure I can speak for everybody when we're all open to talking about what we're going through, what's worked best for us, and what we can do to help you guys moving forward. And this is just the first step of that. So, we'd like to thank Amy, Jeremy, and Jay for joining us on this informative session. A big thanks to our presenters for their discussion and insights. Thanks for joining us today. Additional webinars and podcasts and some pre-taped educational lounge learning sessions will be rolled out in the next few weeks. So we encourage you to check that out at COSIDA.com for updates and information on professional development opportunities. I want to say one thing before we kind of go. I want to thank Jordan Alves for getting this all together. Thank you all very much for doing this for us, Jordan, and we hope that you're doing well. So thanks again for joining our NAIA SIDA Teachable Tuesday webinar and podcast.